As a former T. Rowe Price analyst with experience on the trade desk floor, I'm now a best-selling author and a full-time options trader. Through my online trading community, my mission is to empower people of all different backgrounds with the knowledge and skills needed to achieve financial freedom. In particular, I'm passionate about teaching inner-city youth about financial literacy and helping them build a strong foundation for their future success. Join me on this journey as we transform lives through financial education. Let's get things going. I hope everyone had a great, whatever day it is right now where you are, or let's just go ahead and hop into things, man. By watching or reading this, you're saying you understand the following. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not trading advice. This session is solely for educational purposes. There is significant financial risk associated with options trading, and I'm not liable for your wins or losses in the market if you decide to act on this information. All right, so we're going to start with sector performance now. We didn't have a meeting last week, so you can ignore the before, but this is how the sectors finished on Friday. And again, this is all one day information. I'm a little conflicted by what I see here because of what we're going to see in the charts, but this is how we finished on Friday. All right, cool. All right, right into our performance for August. So since we didn't have a meeting they didn't have a meeting last week, and yeah, I was on vacation, and yeah, so this is our profits for the month of August. So we had a really, really big month for August as we did for July. So for those who can't see, we finished with $6,308.85. Let's just call it $6,300 in net profits for the month of August if you just grab one contract per trade alert. So as you can see, when you look at this this table here, each trade that was alerted, this is one contract, and these are based on just if you grab one contract for each trade that I alerted last month, right? And as you can see, we got our net profits in here too, so you can see the losses in here as well, and just to kind of point out things, most of the time when you see losses for trades in here, it was because we had a strangle for some economic event, and you have to grab both sides of the trade, and one side is going to get cut at a loss, because a strangle is a strategy where I'm not going to explain what a strangle is. Everyone knows what a strangle is. So yeah, but we had a really, really good month, and I wasn't sure if we were actually going to clear 6,000, but hey, we cleared 6,000. We came in and finished the month off strong, and that's how we do it around here. So let's keep things going. Again, round of applause for everyone who follow the instructions around here and make it some money and keep things going. All right, lessons learned recap. Okay, what could I say for lessons learned recap? I mean, look, I'm gonna keep this short because there's no reason to since I don't have a audience on here today. Normally I talk with the team and we have a good open conversation about lessons learned. My lesson learned is, again, like, I'm just being back to my strict militant style trading. So if I'm going to be away or I'm not around, I'm not alerting any trades because, I just want to make sure that I can kind of guide the back of the bike. I'm not confident that the bike can be, ridden when I'm not around. So I'm just going to keep it like that. But, I'm just going to, not to be vague or anything like that. But, everyone knows I have an options trading Bible, and anyone who joins this community, look at this community as a job, a new job. You're making money, and if you trade and follow the process, you'll be making money like you make at a job, like weekly or bi-weekly or monthly, whatever, right? But as with any job, even if it was Walmart, you're going to start and you're not going to get paid right away. because you have to, well, sometimes when I say not get paid right away, you're going to have to do orientation, and you're not getting paid that same day for orientation. You're not just going to jump in and say, you know what, put me on the floor. I need money today, because it doesn't work like that. Even with a temp agency, you're not going to get paid the same day. I don't think they get paid the same day, but I'm pretty sure there probably some are, but that do. But y'all get my point. So what I'm saying is, when you join this community, the first thing that happens when you join this community is you get a notification in the lobby. And in that notification in the lobby, it basically states, it welcomes you to the community, and it shows you, it tells you exactly where you should start. Complete your setup. It tells you complete your setup. The first thing it tells you is, check your LaunchPass email, for instructions on how to get to access the private channel. So if yeah, even if you're a free member, you're going to get this. But then also there's going to be a direct message that's automatically sent to you by the LaunchPass bot as soon as you join this community. So not only are you getting that email, you're getting a DM with instructions on how to navigate this community. The second thing you're going to get, within that same notification, you're going to see a message that says, because everything is bulleted here. Number two is, watch the welcome video. That's your orientation video. I recorded that video myself, took 20 minutes out of my single person's day. I bought my time back a long time ago. So I took time to really uh, to show new members how to navigate the community. And again, whether you know how to use Discord or never used it before, I recorded that video and at very high level, so that anyone who hasn't really utilized the community before, they'll know exactly what they need to do, what our expectations are. It's just like a job. And again, I want to set you up for success, because if you win, I win. It's not like us against them, because if I pride myself on being able to make you guys money, then your win is my win. So it's not a us against them. It only becomes us against them when you guys decide that you don't want to follow this process, and you want to be a big dog and jump out there, and you jump off of, jump right into whatever the situation is, like just those accounts get blown up, and then everyone become envious or bitter, or whatever the situation is. They stop listening to me, and then it becomes a us against them. And I'm never against you all. I want you to win. I'm sharing everything I know with you so you could be successful. So I expect for that process to be followed, so that way you guys can be successful. The next thing on that list, but yeah, in that video, so just really quickly, in that video, I discuss very important things, like the culture here. Like I have two paid admins, so people will, and I'm so I get emails and DMs and stuff a lot, and I got two paid admins that handle stuff. One that handles payment stuff, and one that handles like any operational things. Now, the way Discord works is, if you've never messaged someone before, all of the messages going to go to a spam inbox, because it's a lot of fake accounts and stuff like that try to scam people and stuff like that. So they're duplicating accounts and stuff like that. So they don't want you getting those emails without you being friends with someone. So what I've said in that video, don't just DM a admin. If you got something important, at them in the chat and say, look, I just sent you a DM. Could you check it? So then they'll be aware of this DM, because otherwise it goes into a spam email box and no one gets notified with those spam emails. Then you got to understand, like, there are several hundreds of people in this community, so they're getting DMs left and right. So things have to be prioritized. So they're not gonna answer your email or DM if it's especially. And again, then on top of that, even if you DM an admin and they see the message, if it's something about a trade, like, come on, get over yourself. This is a community. You post your trade related questions in the chat, just like everyone else, and that's just how it goes. And if you're afraid that it's going to be that someone's going to jump down your throat about a question you ask, now listen, let's be clear. The only time someone jumps down your throat about a question that you ask is if, like, for example, someone asks a question like, uh Well, how do I know when the trades get called out? Or where do I get the link for Zoom at? I don't see a link for Zoom. They know you didn't read the how-to guide then, because the Zoom links are right there listed on the thing. It's one of the main links in there, you know? So they're going to check you. Someone's going to say, well, you didn't read the how-to guide, or here it is. And you're going to feel like, so if you feel stupid because someone checked you, then go ahead and follow the instructions. You know, like I said, I'm running this business. If you start a new job, you start with orientation. They're going to say, okay, this is the bulletin board right here where we put your schedule. It's your responsibility to look at this bulletin board every single day so you know your schedule. So then you can't come into work on Wednesday and you get written up and you say, well, it's not my fault. I didn't know it was my schedule. I didn't know I worked Wednesday. I didn't know I worked Tuesday. You didn't tell me. I'm like, well, I told you that it's your responsibility to look at that bulletin board. I can't go and watch everyone else, everyone every day. And you know, these are things. But this is what happens around here all the time. People won't read the instructions, and then they'll jump into these trades and get clapped up. Now, again, like I said, and I say this a lot, I posted this publicly. There have been days where we've had amazing days, and I posted on social media. I didn't do anything special today. Even a caveman could have jumped in the market and made money this day. I've said that multiple times on days where we've had melt ups or meltdowns, and it just was a situation where the market just went one direction. So sometimes people come in on one of those waves and they think it's going to be like that every day, and then so they say, you know what, I didn't look at the instructions when I jumped in here. I just jumped in the trade when I saw an alert. Oh, I didn't jump in that trade when it got called out or at support like he says to do. I jumped in like 30 minutes later and I still made 150%, you know, stuff like that. So then they think they can do that consistently. And then they start getting clapped up, and then they start hitting me wondering why a trade died. And I'm like, well, look, that trade went up 400%. How did you take a loss? But you have to also think, oh, they probably jumped in that trade late, when the options trading Bible totally prohibits that type of behavior. You know, I always say, after a trade runs up 30%, you really, well, before you get into any trade, number one, you should be looking at the chart. That's the first thing. Because sometimes, depending on what type of data trade was called out, it could have been, the situation could be, it could be a situation where it jumped out and it ran right away. Because y'all see, sometimes I call out a trade and you see like 5 minutes later, it's already up 30, 40, 50, excuse me, 50%. Some days are slower days. You know, it's all about volume, time of day, things of that sort, where what level it was called out at, what type of trade it was. So you should be looking at these things to identify these things, not just jumping in the trades, because then that's where things get a little sketchy. So it's like, you jump in at support, then there's nowhere for the stock to go but up. Now, if it was to drop a little bit, most of the time it get caught up. They'll buy it up right there. Or if there's a level, if the structure breaks down, then the trade dies. You know, with situations like that. But some people are jumping at no man's land. By the time a stock gets to no man's land, the volume is probably halfway depleted. Or, or it's just getting closer to resistance now. And most of the buyers are already out of this trade. They already taking profit. And or if they buying it when it's very close to resistance. When stock gets to resistance, it gets rejected. The IV gets ripped out of that trade, and now the momentum starts to it stops and it goes the other way. So you're going to get clapped in a situation like that. That's no one's fault but your own, because like I said in the options trading Bible, if you can't swim, you should not be going deeper than 3 feet. And another thing is just about asking questions. Like, I'm open with anything that I'm doing as far as my trades and stuff like that. If you got questions, you should be asking these questions. This meeting is pre-recorded today because, no one asked questions during the meeting. So I'm like, let me just run through this meeting, get it done so I can go on about my day. So we don't, and then I'll just publish the meeting. I got some nice charts for us, some trade ideas ahead, but I just had to go through this because, again, like I said, I fired my job years ago. This is what I'm doing. I'm trying to help people make money. This is what I love to do. I'm passionate about helping people make money. But you have to follow this process. This is a process that works. And I'm sorry. I can come off a little short. I can come off a little abrasive. You can say, I'm not rude though. Not rude. I may not. This is tough love, and I'm gonna give you tough love because at the end of the day, I always use the analogy. I got a $3 million trade that has to be executed in the next 60 seconds. So I don't have time to walk through the how-to guide with you during market hours. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to follow the process. I'm not going to teach you I'm not going to walk you through things that I know you didn't go through. You have to follow the prerequisites just like everyone else, or you're slowing down the class. This is not, I don't have any sympathy for anyone who's not following this process, because all you have to do is not even a lot of instructions. It's weird. It's not even a lot of instructions, very short instructions. If you follow the instructions, you're going to make a whole lot of money around here and you're going to be very happy. It's just simple as that. And the thing is, like I said, you can audit my profits. You can audit anything that's going on around here. We're making money. We're making money. And like I said, look, I can even go a step further with this. If I Let's say every single trade that I alerted, any of the trades that we cut for a loss, let's cut them. Let's give all of those trades 100% losses. We still made over $6,000 this month. You get what I'm saying? So you can try to slice it any way you want. If you follow my process, you're gonna make a whole lot of money. And it's just like I just need y'all to follow this process. If you're here and you're still here, and you're not successful right now, just know that success is coming. Just know you're gonna make a lot of money. Just know that I'm here for you, and and this is what we're gonna do, and I'm ready, and this is what it is. So let's move on. Let's just continue to move on. I just don't want to, like I said, I took some time off, and then I noticed, I'm gonna tell y'all, this is the last thing I want to say about this, and then I'm gonna move on. Um, Another lesson learned. Everyone is not riding with you. Some people are just hitchhiking, and this was their stop. So don't take it personal. Like, I was off last week. I had some personal stuff going on, and I just it wasn't in the headspace to trade. Um, and like 4 or 5 people canceled their membership because I took off a week after I made them over $6,000, like for the month of August, and over $8,000 for the month of July. And, we're up over 30 something thousand for the year. And this is per single option. So, I'm not, like I said, and I'm only saying this because I saw members in the chat talking about things, and I just want to let them talk. Let them talk. Let people be. I don't want y'all to come across like bullies, or like y'all have to defend me in my absence or something like that. Look, all you got to do is post your contracts and the options wins, and let them know that we're here, and this is what we're doing. They know what's going on. Anybody that's not doing what they're supposed to do in this community knows what they're doing, and they know in their heart and their soul that they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So you don't have to say anything. Let's just keep things going, because one thing I know, a person that's losing, they want to dump their garbage on you. Don't let them dump their garbage on you, because they only come out of the cut when they got something negative to say. So that's because they're losing in the shadows, and they're bitter, and they need to dump their garbage on you. It's like the kid back when we were kids, we would get new clothes for Easter and stuff like that. And then the kids who didn't get anything for Easter, they would find a way to start a fight so they can get you dirty and mess up your new Easter clothes because they didn't get anything. So don't let them do that to y'all. Don't feed into any negativity. That's the only time they come out. How are we up over $6,000 per single option on a month, and they don't come out at all, but they come out to say some negative stuff? You got to put things in perspective, and understand that that's not what we need to be doing around here. We're making too much money. Let's keep that going. Let's thrive. Let's keep that going, team. All right. So moving on. All right. Economic events. So y'all know we got a Fed blackout week. This is a blackout week because FOMC is next week. So no Fed speakers, none of the Fed members are allowed to speak right now, because they're about to go into this 2-day meeting to decide what's going to happen with these rate cuts. Now, again, everyone knows that they're talking about possibly front loading the rate cuts with 50 basis points. I don't know what's going to happen. That jobs data came out the other day, and you see they revised it down from the previous months. And yeah, but anyhow, we'll see what happens. It could be 25 basis points. It could be 50 basis points. You never know. We may not get a cut, but that's next week. We got CPI this week though. And so yeah, CPI, I feel like the most important data point that we had before this next FOMC meeting was the non-farm payroll data. And that's already, that came out. So I think we're fine this week for CPI personally, but we'll see. The estimates are for 2.6%. The last reading was 2.9%. So let's see what happens with CPI. On Thursday, we got PPI, we got jobless claims, and we got consumer sentiment on Friday. Keep things moving along. All right, chart setups. I think this is what everybody is here for. The chart setups, that's what I love. That's my bread and butter, the chart setup. So let's just start with QQQ. All right. All right. So QQQ finished down here at a nice level, closing right here at this key level on Friday. Bounced off of it, finished. Now look, if you're just looking at this chart, just I got a lot of stuff on this chart. Just ignore some of the stuff I had. Just flowing along today, man. But look at this chart. This is the daily chart for QQQ. We finished right here at a key level. Now, if things were to get ugly, we could break a move and come down here. If we were to lose this lose 448, then we got room all the way down to 444, and then 441, right? So we got 441. That's where our 200-day EMA is. So that's what we'd be looking for. Looking for a bounce here, nice bounce off of this level here, and make a move possibly back up above 455. That's what I would be looking for, and possibly in the 460 if we could get back, if we were to make a move. Now, look, this is a range. This is a range. We got a nice flush on the day. So just to give you, just to be clear with things, okay. So under 448, I'm looking for a move down to 444 and 441, right? Now, if we were to clear 461.22, then I'm looking for a move back above 463 and then 466.71. Okay. Let's move on. I got a list today, man, trying to just keep things a little going, keep things moving smoothly. All right. So let's move over to, I think I like this chart here. Let me just see here. I'm gonna do them in order. Forget that. Microsoft. You got Microsoft. Okay, so Microsoft lost. See, this is the thing right here. All right. Microsoft, this chart it's a lot of things I see on this chart, right? So we finished down here at a level, right? But we lost that 200-day EMA and we finished with a 222 reversal, bearish engulfing. So this is ugly. This is ugly. So I feel like with Microsoft, man, if we were to lose 400, let's kick this 400, right? So 400, I'm just going to say if we were to lose 400, because it's 400.80, this is where we finished at. If we were to, this was a low. If we were to lose this area here, I'm looking for a move all the way down to 395. This gap, this bullish gap fill down here at 395. That's what I would be looking for from Microsoft if we were to lose that level there. Now, because this is an area. This is an area. Again, a lot of things flushed on Friday. We got a lot of bearish engulfings all over this market. So if we were to clear 410.65, then we can make a move back up to 413. That's what I'll be looking for. Well, I'm sorry, 411.39 first, and then 413.96, and then 420, obviously, because then we would be breaking out of this area, break out of this range, this wedge here, and we could possibly make a move again. But again, right now we got the market coming down ahead of CPI. Let's see what happens. Go from there. Next up on the list, I think, let me just start with Meta. Go ahead, hit Meta, get it out of the way. All right, another bearish engulf in here. Now, let's talk about Meta for a second, man. I don't like this chart right now. I think market is a little weird right now, but we finished at a psychological level at the 500 price level. Now, if Meta loses that 498.25, then 492 is our next level for Meta. Now we got, again, this is another one of the situations. See, almost every chart has that 222 reversal, bearish engulfing on it. So we got a long way up. So it's a big range in here on these stocks for us to play. Now, bounce off 500, we can make a nice move back up over back over 509, and then back up to 509, then 514, and so on. But in order for us to even, because again, we're playing a range on this. Remember, like I said, it's a big range on this. And just like the other two stocks that we just covered, because of that flush that we got on Friday, the range is between 500 and 524. That's the whole point. So in order for calls to be in play, like just the stock to be bullish overall, we need to clear 524.58. So over 524.58, then 527.88 is in play. But I'm talking about the range right now. So we gonna stick in that range, and let's just see if we bounce off this 500 or if we're gonna take that move down. So yeah, keep this one on watch. So you see how difficult that would have been to explain in a chart. I mean, just with a chart, a bear chart. All right, let's talk about snow. Let's talk about snow. So snow, look, so we always talking about stocks hitting all-time highs. So look, this stock is at ATL. You know what I mean? So, we call ATL down south, right? So this is at all-time lows. Like, how often we see a stock taking out all-time lows. Now so this is this is what we call price discovery. Now, I'm used to price discovery at all-time highs, not at all-time lows, right? So we got all-time lows for snow. So this is what we gotta look. Every chart tells a story, and this is what I'm seeing right here with snow. It's been following this non-EMA. So it's been coming up, rejecting off the non-EMA, coming back down. So let's just see what happens. We haven't gotten any pivots on this one yet at all. It's just been coming up to the non-EMA and flushing down. I don't have any levels for you on this one. I just know that the all-time low now is 107.13. And we took out the all-time low in this stock. Let's see if we can get a pivot. Now, I would personally would not touch this for calls unless we get back over that non-EMA, and we get a nice pivot. Now, just a 222 reversal isn't enough. Remember what I'm saying here, and y'all got to pay attention to what I'm saying. It's been riding this non-EMA down. It's been rejecting the hell out of it. So you can get a reversal, anything you want, but I need a clear and a close over this non-EMA for me to consider calls on this, because it's just not looking good right now. But it's just something we definitely need to keep on watch. Snow, 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 snow. All right. So there's an Apple event next week, tomorrow, actually. And Apple, out of all of these stocks that I covered so far, Apple looks the best of these stocks. And I believe that's because they have this event coming up, and this iPhone event, the AI event, right? So we're going to find out some things about the 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 AI features, and that's the new series stuff. And they're probably going to make a big deal out of it. So let's just see how Apple looks. So yeah, so we got this. It's the iPhone 16 event. I'm trying to see what time it is. I think it's gonna. Let me just find out first. Just trying to figure out. It's at 10 a.m. Okay, so it's really at 1 p.m. Yeah, because it's at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So yeah, 1 p.m. our time. So yeah, but look, so we still got that 222 reversal, bearish engulfing like we got on all of the other stocks, right? But it finished here at this level. I'm not going to put a line here on this chart. I like to keep this chart clean, but y'all can see it stopped here. So let's see what happens, man, because Apple looks great. Apple looks great here. I mean, not great, but I'm saying in conjunction with the other stocks, I think it looks good. So now if we were to lose that 219.77, then we got 218.99, and then we got another level down here, right? So, but what I would be looking for, honestly, I'm thinking that Apple is going to bounce here off this event, but I'm sorry, front run this event, because what typically happens with Apple is we'll get a lot of news. Now, again, not all the time, but I'm just saying like 90% of these events with Apple, it's a sell the news event. So what happens is the stock will front run. There'll be a lot of news, talking heads and everything coming out before the event actually starts, or at the beginning of the event. Everything is just moving and looking good, and then it flushes, right? And the market comes down with it. So we got to pay attention to this and be very careful with what happens. So these levels aren't not really, I'm not going to really give these levels too much weight right now. But yeah, so like I said, if we lose that, what level was that? Um, 219.77. We got that 218, well, let's call that 219, and then we got 217.45, right? So we got two levels down that we can watch. Now, if we were to clear that 225.24, remember we were heading up there before. Then we got, what is that? What is that level? We got 228. We'll call that 229, right? 229. And then we got this gap almost got filled, but it did not get filled last week or the week before. It was almost filled. So we got a few levels where we can actually go up into if this event ends up being bullish, right? But we got a double top that already started happening here. Let's see what happens if the event can change it, or because this could be a bullish flag too. This could turn into a bullish flag and we can get a nice move. So let's see what happens. Again, 1 p.m. is a long time from from after market open. So let's just see what happens if we get a nice push, if they put some publications out pre-market and send this stock going. We don't know. Let's see what happens and go from there. But keep Apple on watch, man. What's next? AVGO. AVGO save Tesla. All right, so AVGO, they had earnings last week. The earnings, the AI stuff they talked about was pretty good. But the guidance was not that good, right? And so there was a conversation I was having with someone online about this last week. Now, the stock sold off personally, I feel, because the guidance wasn't clear. Now, listen, yeah, this was Q3 and there's only one quarter left. So the only guidance left for this year is Q4 guidance. And that's all they gave was the Q4 guide. They didn't give us any any fiscal year 25 guidance. They didn't give us the full year guidance. So some people online were saying, well, they already gave us the full year guidance. There's only one quarter left. So giving Q4 guidance is the full year guidance. That's not true. Because let's say, for example, a company, they comes out and let's say Q1, right? Q1, in Q1, they say our full year guidance for the rest of the year. I'm just going to throw a number out there. It's going to be for revenue of 10 billion. Let's just say that, right? And then, okay, so Q2 comes around and, well, let's just say for Q1, their guide for just that the next quarter was was 5 billion or something, right? And so the next quarter come around, they said they missed that guidance. It was only three, right? So then the next quarter comes out and, they're giving us this guide and they're giving us this guide still to the full year guide. Now it's re-rated and they're going to give us what they think the full year guide is going to be now in Q3, in Q2, but there's only two more quarters left if we're in Q2, right? And so, but as the year goes on, they re-rate their guide and sometimes they can reaffirm the full year guide, or sometimes they don't. So look, but if they just choose not to say anything, is most of the time is because they missed the guide, they got it down, or they're re-rating the guide and they don't want to say the full year guide again. Because if your full year guide was 20 million, I'm sorry, 20 billion, and now if we were to take this quarters and break these quarters down in each quarter, we'll see that damn, this is on they only got this, they only so far it's only been like 14 billion for the guide, and they said the whole full year guide was 20 billion. So how they guiding for Q4 and that's only 4 billion? That still leaves out several $1 billion. You know what I mean? I hope I didn't confuse y'all, but I'm just saying. So that's what they did pretty much. They only gave us Q4 guide. They didn't reaffirm the full year guide to tell us that they were still on course to make that or anything. That's what they did. And the investors didn't like that. The stock fell off a cliff. It came all the way down here to its 200, well, close, very close to its 200 day EMA, right? And so let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens here. Excuse me, because it could either stop at 135 or we lose 135 and we come down to 130. I'm gonna show y'all that 130 level in a minute. But yeah, so right now just look at this, keep this on watch again. I think it's still gonna go lower here. So under 136.60, I'm looking for 135. And then if it lose 135, I'm looking for, well, obviously we got 134 there, but I'm saying I'm looking for 130 if we were to lose 135, because let me show y'all this weekly chart. So here's the weekly right here, and that's where I'm going. That's my target, 130, and we're almost there. So let's keep this one on watch. Again, it's a long way up for calls on this one. If we were to clear that 143.50, then we got a bearish gap fill back up here. But 149 would be first, 149.42. So yeah, that's what we would be looking for. But yeah, this is a big possibility for continuation. So let's keep this on watch. Again, Broadcom, one of the biggest semiconductor stocks on the planet, and yeah, second to Nvidia. Just keep this one on watch. Do I have CVNA or Tesla? I think I already have the CVNA chart up. Yeah, I do. I have it up here. All right, here we go. So CVNA, right? Stock is headed towards a key level, lost the 50-day EMA. And yeah, it doesn't look good right now. Right? Again, the whole market fell down, but you see it's been in a continuation to the downside for over a week now, like a few weeks now. So here we go. Got a nice flush on Friday, lost to 50. Now under 132, I'm looking for a move down to 128.71, which is a strong level, nice strong support area there. So that's where they should buy it up, if anything there. Again, I'm not really looking to the upside on this until after we take that level out. It's been going down. So you can get some little retests and stuff like that, but I'm looking for a move to the downside on this one. So that's where we are with CVNA and Tesla. Tesla. I got one more. Actually, before I hit Tesla, I got one more stock. So Dell got added. Well, Dell is being added to the S&P 500. Dell is being added to the S&P 500, right? But I don't know if that's going to be enough to save this stock right now, because everything is just not looking good right now. You see how I'm going to show you this monthly chart, because the monthly was looking good before this sell-off, but yeah, so it's either it stops here or it's coming down. We got a gap fill on a month. It looked like it's trying to fill this gap. It has a long way back up to go right now, to be saved. So this could be another stock to keep on watch, because you see it rejected the on the daily. If you look here, it rejected once it lost that 200-day EMA. That's where things got ugly again. Stock loses 200, closes gap right here, and it's looking for the next one down here. So let's just keep this one on watch. A nice double reject off the 200-day EMA with a 222 continuation now to the downside. So yeah, if we were to lose this 101.41, then I'm looking for a move down here to this gap fill area here at 199.94. And then we got a few levels on this one, man. Just that could possibly play out if this was to come down. And if you see that, go back to the monthly for a second, so you can see how this could possibly play out all the way down here to 94.66. Now, for things to be bullish again, we need to get back over 112. We have to get back over 112 for things to be bullish again for me on Dell. Now, just side note on Dell, right? So look, last Friday, I called out a Dell trade, right? That was a 50% profit trade on this one, right? I posted a chart after the market closed online, because I swung Dell calls, and I felt like some of my snipers probably would have swung some Dell calls too, but I did not alert anyone to swing a Dell call or anything, like the options trading Bible says, you shouldn't be driving as far as you can see, faster than you can see, and if you can't swim, you should not be going deeper than 3 feet of water. And that was a nice 50% profit on that contract, paid 220 to get in it, made a nice $110 profit, over a nice little span, long before the market closed and stuff like that. No one asked any questions about if they should swing or anything like that, right? But I did notice that there were some people that said that they took a loss on Monday morning. Now I see my snipers were like, "Oh no, I took profit, or I got out, or I did this," But how I never let a 50%, never let your profits. I don't care if it's a 50%, 100%. Don't let your profits disappear without asking questions. I'm gonna tell y'all this. This is what I don't like, and I'm sorry. I got one more chart for y'all, but I'm two more, one more. I don't know. Let's see. But um, I don't like when people bring their problems here, but they never speak up when it's time to be vulnerable and ask questions, right? Don't come here and be, oh yeah, well, I had to cut this trade. I had to cut this trade. Well, Ninja, that trade was up 50%. You should have took that 50% profit. You cutting the trade, but you didn't take the profit though. I always tell y'all, before you let your profits go away, ask them questions like, are we swinging this? I would have told you no, because you're a new trader. If you got to ask me if we're swinging it, then possibly you now, don't get me wrong. There's situations where I'd be like, I'm swinging this, but I don't think you should swing because I'm not going to be around Monday morning, and y'all know I'm off on Mondays. So it's like you got to really start to think about these things sometimes. Like, all right, on a day where I'm going to be around, like if it's a Tuesday or something like that, and we're swinging, I'm like, oh, sure, swing. Come on, I'm swinging too. I'm gonna be around. But Monday, y'all know I play tennis on Monday mornings. I purposely choose Monday mornings to play tennis because when I used to be a working person, a regular working class person, Mondays were the worst day of the week. And we used to hate Mondays. So I'm like, I like to play tennis. So I'm gonna play tennis on Mondays. So that's what I do. And so y'all know for the most part I'm off on Mondays. So why would you swing something knowing that you're a new trader and nobody told you to swing? Number one, I'm expecting new traders that don't know how to read charts or price action to take profit at 30% or ask a question, you know, and nobody's doing that. So a trade goes up over 50%. And then I'm seeing posting in the chat like, well, I cut that for a loss. But I see my sniper saying, oh, no, well, I got out because I saw QQQ and SPY about to come down. So, yeah, I did swing and didn't take the 50% profit, but I didn't take a loss either because I saw the whole market about to come down because my coach told me, I need to be looking at the forecast to see if it's going to rain before I go to the beach. So, if you see SPY and QQQ coming down, then you gotta start thinking for a second. Okay, cool. Dell is a tech stock. QQQ is coming down. The overall market, the whole all six of the Power Rangers are coming down. Well, the Magnificent Seven, they're coming down. So if it's just you got to start really putting things into perspective. So you can't just be like, well, I just took a loss. And then when my snipers try to give you a lesson and tell you like, well, look, you should have did this, then you flip out and be like, well, see, that's why don't nobody say anything in here. No, you have to learn how to be vulnerable. You have to learn how to be humble. People are trying to help you. Well, they're supposed to be speaking on what I would say. You know, if you don't want anybody to say anything to you and you can't take any criticism, you're never going to grow. But don't lash out on people and call them toxic because they're trying to tell you what the coach said to do. Like, why didn't you take the 50% profit on Friday? You're being greedy and you don't know what you're doing. We're trying to help you around here. I want to see everybody when you should have took that 50% profit. Because my thing is this: if you're going to type in the chat and say on Monday morning, oh, I had to cut that trade. When if you would have said something that market open on Monday, the snipers would have told you what to do. But I go back and read that chat. I see snipers were in there talking. Well, QQQ and SPY are coming down. Dell was still up at that time because Dell was still bullish at that moment. It ended up coming down when everything else came down. But the whole point was, why let that trade go to a loss? Even if you didn't take the profit, the 50% profit on Friday, before it turned into a loss, you could have said, ask a question. People be so quick to say, oh, well, I had to cut that trade for a loss to try to call my trade a loss. But that trade was up 50% when you were supposed to take profit on Friday. You should have opened that same mouth to say, well, look, should I swing this? Am I taking this profit? I would have said, take profit. You know what I'm saying? I would have said that to you. I would have said to take profit. If you would have said Monday morning to anyone in that chat before you let that trade turn into an L, what are we doing with Dell? I saw people in there already saying, oh, I took profit on Dell. Oh, I sold at 20%, 20% profit. But you wait until the trade turns into a loss and then speak. Well, I like so like you want to just say something negative, like, oh, I had to cut that trade. You had to cut a winning trade at a loss. So of course the snipers came out and coached you. Like what the hell? Like I don't want to be around a bunch of yes people. If I'm the smartest person in the room, then I'm in the wrong room. So I'm trying to build snipers and hopefully, attract more. And actually, there are a few people in this group, this community that are way smarter than me, right? So I'm trying to instill things in them, teach them everything I know so that I can learn different things. I can move on to other things, right? So if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. So if you can't take criticism, you're never going to grow. You should be expecting I want to be in rooms where everything I do is wrong. So I know I got a long way to go. Look, I've been in those rooms before. I've been on trade desk floors. I've worked on trade desk floors. I've had to be criticized. I've been under extreme pressure, and that's where I am. That's why who I am right now. So I understand the situation, but at the same time, you cannot be timid and expect to be successful around here. And there's no room for it, and that's not the culture here. And I'll never support that culture. I stand 100% behind this culture here. If you don't like it, that's fine. This community may not be for you. But anywhere you go, like I said, you can go to a bigger community if you want. Their win rate, their win percentages will not touch mine. We can go side by side and I can prove that to you, right? That's number one. But no disrespect to no one else is doing what they're doing. If you're shy to talk in the chat, those other communities way bigger than mine, right? So you're gonna be shy to talk there too, right? You can get left in the dust there too. So you can go wherever you go, no matter where you go, you're gonna have to accept the fact that you're not willing to follow a process and that you're not willing to do what needs to be done. Now, my process is the easiest. Take profit, ask questions. Things look a little shaky, ask questions. If it's a day that I'm off and I'm not around, if somebody asks the right questions, I may spin up a Zoom on my day off. So it's just like, come on now, we got to do the right thing. Let's make this thing work for us and do what we're supposed to do. But that's what I'm saying. Like y'all have to ask these questions. Don't just be in here like, well, I did this because now someone's coaching you. Someone's gonna say something. I hope one of my snipers speak up and say something, speak on my behalf when I'm not around. Speak around I'm like, okay, good. Yeah, I know my lessons are being processed by someone. Y'all be skipping the process because y'all think y'all too good for instructions or y'all above me and my instructions or whatever, and y'all make a few dollars. But then when like I said, anybody can make money even a caveman can make money when the market is just going up or going down. But when that market starts moving, that price action start giving what it's giving, then you see who's really out here swimming naked. And then y'all get flustered, and then it's all my fault now. Look, but that's why my snipers come out the cut, and they're gonna continue to come out the cut. And look, so people be like, well, you got minions, but look, check this out. Every month I get new minions. I get new minions every month. Then that means some new people came in, they followed the process, and now they become believers. You can call them minions, but they making millions. They're gonna be making millions. They making money on. They getting that money right here. So that's what I'm saying. So you gotta really you got to look at things in perspective, put things in a proper perspective, follow the little bit of instructions. Like I said, you buy, it's always going to be some pieces left. And if you not following the instructions, it's going to be some pieces left. That table may wobble right now, but eventually it's going to fall apart. You're going to be like, damn, now you got to take the whole thing apart because that one little piece that's missing because you didn't read the instructions. You know what I'm saying? Just follow the instructions so everything can make sense. You don't have to be flustered and lashing out at people. No one should be in here taking big losses. We made over $6,300 this month and net profits. So come on now, without earnings. Come on. So yeah, I just need y'all to follow this process. Now, here's Tesla. I knew y'all were going to wait for Tesla. So look, on Friday, right before the close, I was going to alert a Tesla trade. I was going to alert a Tesla trade, but I was waiting to see where Tesla was going to close. And Tesla lost that 50 and it closed under that 50. So it looks like it wants that 200-day EMA. So yeah, so that's why I did not alert the Tesla trade on Friday. So yeah, Tesla gave us a nice move up on Friday, well, last week. And you see how it finished. You see, it gave us a nice move up, and then we got that 222 reversal, just like everything else in the market. But look, so you see, it looked like it has room down to that 200-day EMA. So if we lose that, if we lose 210.51, then the next target on here would be 206.55, right? 206.55. That's the 200 moving average. Then we got the 200, 200 EMA. But yeah, so we got a range here. Again, you can see how I am with these ranges, man. We got a huge range here for Tesla, but let's just see. It look like that's where it wants to go, and that's what's up. But if we get a bounce here, we can get a nice move up back into 215. So if we get a bounce here, let's see what the market does. When the market flushes like that, sometimes we get a bounce, sometimes we don't. Let's see exactly what happens. But yeah, so that's what we have here. And again, we got a big week ahead of us with CPI, PPI, and there isn't a whole lot of economic data. There are no Fed speakers because of the blackout week, but that's all I have. And I hope y'all have a great week. Cheers.